Alright y'all, so Fujifilm loaned me this X100V and I'm freaking obsessed with it. The reason I wanted to try this camera out was I want to shoot more like lifestyle, retro, vintage type looking stuff on my shoots. When I'm working with my Canon R5, which I'm using right now to film on, it's really hard for me to put my mind to that creative space of like that on-camera flash, having models have fun and sticking their tongues out and just doing crazy stuff. When I'm shooting my R5, like I'm thinking about the master shots and doing lighting and all that. But when this camera is in hand, even the models, they kind of relax a little bit. It's like when you bring up an iPhone and all of a sudden the models want to have fun. This kind of has a similar vibe to that when you're switching over from like a big Canon R5 with the grip on it and everything. But besides all that, I'm really loving this camera, and I previously put out a video showing a photo shoot, kind of the first time me using it on an actual shoot, just shooting JPEGs and all that. I got a lot of questions about the recipe I was using. It's a recipe I made. I did go to Fuji Weekly and I tried out a bunch of the recipes they had on there, and they're all beautiful, but all of them that I tried, there was always like certain little things that I didn't like. The main thing being either the greens were too saturated or the reds weren't saturated enough, and there was no way to really balance that out. So I kind of got an idea to use old filters that I used to use when I shot 35mm film. I still dabble in film, mostly just to recalibrate my eye. When I realize I'm doing digital edits and they're looking a little bit too overdone, I'll start shooting some film for a little bit and processing it and scanning it myself, and it kind of recalibrates and resets my brain. So that's like a really cool tool. I'll do another video about that eventually. So the filters that I'm using are these cheap little Polaroid filter set. You guys will need to buy this if you want to use these recipes. These recipes will not work without it. I think it's only $20. So in the first video I put out, I was using this magenta filter. The reason that this magenta filter sticked out was I wanted to kill the oversaturated greens that was happening on this camera with all the recipes. Now when you use this, you have to shift the camera more into green. Basically what you're doing is this magenta filter is killing all the greens that are naturally coming into the camera. So when you internally push the tint more green, it kind of balances out a little bit and you get this really cool like Fuji Superior 1600 ASA kind of look out of it. And the recipe that's been down in this corner that whole time is for that look, for that magenta filter. Now the second recipe that I've been using, so back when I was like, I think 21, I'm now 30. I bought a Canon A1 when I was living in LA for some guy, and he gave me this full kit. There was these small little filters. You see they're really old and beat up. I used to use this a lot on my A1, and it's like this brown, smoky tobacco color. I would also use this very light tinted orange one, and I was getting creative, so I was putting hairspray on it and scratching it up to kind of diffuse the light a little bit. But this warm tobacco filter, I was using this a lot when I was shooting either with Portra or Fuji Superior 400. Just gave this super warm, like cinematic greenish kind of look to the photos. So basically I'm using that same mindset. That kit comes with this slight warming filter. I wish it was more warm. I might go and buy another one just to push it even more. And right now you'll see the recipe over here for this warming filter that's on here right now. The whole point of me doing this one is so I could really saturate the blues. You can either lower your color temperature or raise your color temperature, but you want to stick to the tint settings that I have on here. And basically what this does is you could get a really saturated filmic blue look, like more like Kodak Vision 3 kind of saturated blues in the mids and shadows, while warming up kind of like the higher the midtones and the highlights. So it's basically just balancing everything out. A cool thing about warming filters too, it gives a little bit more of a softer effect on the skin. So I'm using the on-camera flash in here a lot to get that retro vibe. And so this warming filter helps. Again, I wish I had a stronger one. I'm still looking for one that's a 49mm. So we'll see if we can find that. But yeah guys, that's pretty much the recipes I'm using. Again, you need these filters. I will put a link down in the description to them. Again, they're about 20 bucks I think, so not too bad. If you guys try this out, please DM me at CamMackey and show me the photos that you're using. I would love to see how you guys are using the recipes and what tweaks you're using, so maybe I could copy your settings as well and get a better look. But yeah guys, that's it. Peace.